Look, you can't play other people's music on YouTube, right? Because of copyright. But you can play your own music, right? Because you made it. And you guess what? I'm not gonna copyright my own fucking music. Guess what? There's gonna be more cussing in this video. Yeah, yeah. Gotta be a role model, but who cares, man? Screw it. Let's just be real in this. You know, this is gonna be about. Let me get my other monitor going. This is gonna be about Trump's first 100 days or whatever. So Donald Trump. So let's just Trump. I'm just gonna do a quick Google search. Trump 100 days, and we'll see what we get. The full interview. I'm not trying to do. Okay, if naturally the first thing that comes up on Google, I can't flip the camera apparently. I don't know how to. The first thing that comes up on Google is this, like, these interviews. I don't know if you can see. I tried to flip the camera. So the first thing that shows up are those interviews, and I watched Asmund until he said he'd vote for JD Vance, and then the hatred took over. The hatred took over my my impulses, and I stopped watching Asmund because he said that he would vote for JD Vance. Because I just have this, like, okay, I'm very far to the left, so, like, I don't like conservatives generally, but, like, JD Vance, I don't usually, like, I don't have to try to find a reason to hate a conservative or to dislike a conservative, like Ben Shapiro, Candace Owens, Steven Crowder, closeted homosexual, Michael Knowles, another closeted homosexual, Jordan Peterson, a just demented, dementia-addled person. Like, you understand? These are the people of the conservative movement. And there's, like, a schism right now because I think Candace Owens is, like, starting to not support Trump. So, like, there's gonna be a conservative schism. It's been developing for a while because it's like, are you pro-Trump or are you anti-Trump? And there are more conservatives who are reeling at this Trump presidency. I promise, I can tell, because there was this fervor for Trump that was before, and now it's just dead. And it's like, if you have that fervor for Trump, you're just a little demented, because it's like, he's not all there. I've seen enough Trump speeches in 2024 to know, in 2025, excuse me, to know that he's just not all there. He's not all there. And if you compare a Trump speech from 2016 to 2025, it's night and day. Trump is trying to compete with Joe Biden, and there's a reason. It's because they both had dementia. With Joe, it was extremely obvious, and the left covered it with the news sites saying, "Oh, Joe Biden doesn't have dementia," even though he clearly, obviously does. But now with Trump has dementia. So what they did for Biden was they gave him every single softball question in the world. And Trump, he has dementia. They don't give a shit. They're going to give him hard questions still, at least if they're a left-leaning source. And even the right, like Fox, would probably give him some tougher questions, because it's like you kind of have to with the schism a little bit, because I can tell there's something brewing. It hasn't, like, fully developed yet. Conservative land moves slower than on my brain. And then we had the Trump shit with Elon. So it just kind of seems like Elon got cut out a little bit, and now there's some conflict, but they'll get along still. But that's just how it is with Trump. How it is with Trump is, like, you're friends with him, and then he cuts ties with you. He uses you until there's nothing to use, and then he just cuts ties, and he's like, I don't really like that Elon guy. He's a loser. Whatever. That's what he's... You hear this shit?
What am I saying? It's a thriller. Michael Jackson on the track, filter. Funny thing to do about a toxic, like a monster kilter, like the earth.
Wait, you ready for this?
Rising temperatures,
No one can copyright strike this shit either.
up another level. Unlike Kendrick, I'll
Take it to that level, yeah, take it to that level. Fuck Kendrick, fuck it, I'ma take it to that level.
They call you the god now. They say no one's better than me, but I gotta contend. I think I'm better than Kendrick because I'm already a legend.
Allegedly, I said some shit that I shouldn't.
Jealous of everything that I do. I get the neck.
Wait a second, though.
Really fucking hot, I don't know what I'm saying. I don't even know know what to do, but my brain's
That's hot.
Cause I'm so hot to get a kid at the bar, drink me jealous, but he going to
Ready?
the party.
Ready? This is the part. Ready? This is it. Ready?
Drake wanna drop my dog cause he can't touch the kid up. Drake wanna get my dog cause the kid up. Why Drake wanna get my dog cause he trying to touch the kid up. Drake trying to get my dog cause he be trying to touch. What? Is just get the Drake kind of pill the glizzy. Shoot me in the neck like I'm X, but I'm not in the streets like that. I've never fought a man. I've never fought a
Dang.
I've never fought a
Yo, that's tough though, huh? That's tough. That just completely threw me off. But yeah, that totally just made me lose all train of thought I had. Put the baby oil to the side, dude. Trump needs to learn how to do that too on Epstein Island. You know what I'm saying? But I watched some of Epstein Island, how they'd get girls and like they'd say bring your friends because they just wanted as many people as possible, and then it'd be like, well, your friend isn't saying shit, so you're not gonna say shit either, you know. But I mean, you can even see Amnesty International. Trump's first 100 days, attacks on human rights, cruelty, and chaos. I mean, really, what we didn't talk about were these tariffs, and well, I mean, obviously China and America basically, it seems like, are in a trade war because Trump jacked up. Trump threatened tariffs on everyone, and now everyone's responding basically because he tariffed Canada, or threatened to tariff Canada, tariffed and threatened to tariff China. It's a Donald Trump thing with these tariffs, and this is what I was afraid of coming into this election cycle with Trump. Was I've never heard anyone, especially Trump, be so aggressive with these tariffs before. We've never been, I don't think, so outwardly aggressive with tariffs, at least maybe like internally, but the people, it isn't reflected to the people if we are. And like having 100% or threatening 120% tariffs on any country is like how you start a trade war. And Trump doesn't, he has dementia. He's dementia addled. He's not all there anymore. So like Trump starting trade wars, it's like my mom or her fiance starting a trade war because they're just getting dementia. It's like that. It's like those kind of people starting trade wars. They don't know how to start or finish anything. They can start something, but obviously Trump's the kind of guy now where he's going to demand everyone, Canada, apologize for blah, blah, blah. Ukraine, apologize for, really, it's insulting. We want your minerals. Apologize. And then we can't apologize to anyone. That's how these men are. They can everyone has to apologize to these men like Trump, these figureheads like Trump. Everyone has to apologize to them, but he'll never apologize to anyone or anything because he doesn't believe that his power can be checked, so he'll never apologize. But he believes your power is checked by the system, so he demands an apology from you. That's the kind of man he is, a just incredibly awful, toxic, and broken one. I mean, if you just look at Trump and Melania clearly hates him, and no one because no one can read people, so no one talks about how Melania clearly hates Trump, how like she'll hold his hand for 2 seconds, immediately let go, and then just make a face like, ew, I just held this disgusting orange man's hand. You think anyone with me is gonna be like, ew, I can't hold this guy's hand? Like, no, everyone, like, you know, everyone loves me, like, you know what I'm saying? That would never happen. Unless I'm just like that, I just give up and sell my soul and just completely stop giving any craps. That's the only way that could happen. And I'm not going to sell my soul to these people, you know? That's why I'm doing all this, everything I'm doing, everything I did. Because I'm not going to sell my soul. Everyone else around me can sell my soul. My mom can sell her soul. I don't care. I'm not going to sell my soul. That was all I had growing up was my mom, and she sold her soul. I will not. I refuse. I will kill anything. You know what I'm saying? Sorry, I get in that headspace. I have that kill in me, so it's just like, I get in that headspace of like, you know, bang, 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 all these pedophiles, but I'm sorry, I try not to put that out there so much, you know? But really deep down how I feel is like, let's go drill, like, let's go slide. And then I have drillers saying to me, oh, you don't got me. What? You don't got me. Like, if there was anything real, you don't got me. And it's in that kind of situation, it's like, baby, I'll go to you and start shooting. Like, what are you talking about? No one's ever asked me to. I don't like guns, but it's like, baby, Don't say like you don't know me in the streets. I've never had to do any of that. So when you say like you have a situation and like 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 I have a rapper telling me like if there's a situation in the streets after he scammed me by the way, if there is a situation in the streets you don't got me, like you're not reliable. It's like what do you mean I'll literally go drive to you and get you out? That's the kind of bitch I am, but no one seems to get that. So whatever. It's like you don't want Venus and Mars on your side in a war. Are you stupid? But whatever. But like even just if you okay, like you can see it. 100 days into his second term, President Trump has led with cruelty and chaos, creating human rights emergency that has affected millions of people by suppressing dissident, undermining rule of law, and eroding norms and institutions essential to the protection of human rights. Which I'm sure an argument for the institutions would be a removal of the Department of Education, as I have to deal with hearing my own music. But I see some background noise. And their evidence for this is ending asylum and targeting immigrants, attacking freedom of expression and the right to protest, undermining the rule of law, undermining press freedom, attacking rights of women and LGBT communities, and marginalizing black or other racialized communities. That's pretty weak reasoning to me because he was doing all this basically in 2016, just probably less outwardly. It's just we care more now, I suppose. When you look at the cumulative effect of the Trump administration's actions, it amounts to a sweeping attack on human rights and the systems that uphold them. From this perspective, the damage and devastation of the first 100 days are undeniably clear. I do feel like a lot of this is like liberal kind of fear-mongering. However, I do also feel like liberals have a right to be afraid, just not like they need to find better reasons. Because it's like we just like kind of, the Doge. The fact that America is seriously considering using Doge as a cryptocurrency for anything serious just shows you how far we've fallen. Trump's calling this the golden age of America. Like when I think of the golden age, I think of like the golden age of Athens, where you had like one of the first democracies ever in human civilization, extremely modern and advanced city. Athens was an extremely like modern and advanced city for its time. They literally had like democracies where people would like raise their hands and whatever, Agorapolis, I don't know what it's called, but like they're literally raising their hands. Like it's not even an indirect democracy, it's not a representative democracy, it's a direct democracy where people are like legit raising their hands voting for things, and like there's someone going on a stage and speaking, and there might have been like some sort of sewage system. I don't remember, but there were just these like extremely advanced things going on from the time period in Athens. And then in America, we have a less direct form of democracy 2,000 years later, like however long later, like 3,000 years later. I don't know exactly when that was, but we don't even have we have a representative democracy. It's a less direct democracy, and we actually could easily have a more direct democracy now with phones, but we have to figure out how to implement our phones into this voting and political process. So overall, there's been like maybe like a lot of fear around Trump's 100 days, but maybe he's done less than we think. Is what my assessment is. I think we've been kind of feeling it out more the first 100 days. Trump's like, oh, he's done the most of any president in the first 100 days. That's just another Trump line of BS. I don't know what to say. Like, I kind of hashed everything with Trump. I mean, truly, I'll just go over my voting then. I think that's the last step of this, is that who I voted for Kamala, but she had to earn my vote. I actually wasn't gonna vote, just like I didn't vote for Joe Biden. I wasn't gonna vote again. But then I watched the debate, and I'm sorry, Kamala killed Trump in the debate, just absolutely slaughtered him. And that has to bother his ego, because a woman beat him in a debate, and he's clearly sexist. He did not want a woman beating him in a debate, but she owned him. That's why I voted for her, because she just destroyed him in a debate, and it just looked like, okay, Kamala, she was nervous at first, dude, you could tell. But it was like, okay, Kamala actually has some sense, unlike Trump, so I voted for her. I mean, it's that simple. I wore a denim jacket and a Trump hat, and I voted for Kamala. That's the type of bitch I am, you know? But Yeah, I voted Kamala because I watched the debate and she actually won, and then I watched the VP debate, and I also thought this was way more up in the air. But conservatives, because when Trump lost that debate to Kamala, the conservatives didn't even bother running the line of, okay, we need to protect Trump, and that's how you know he was there. It's not that good of a relationship Trump has with the conservatives because they didn't protect him. They literally said, Ben Shapiro voiced his frustrations like with Trump, like, oh, Trump, I don't know why he was so aggressive during the debate. He looked like bad because of it. He looked bad, super aggressive. I watched all this conservative shit like in October of 2024. I was just watching a ton of conservative shit, so I know I have the perspective of like Ben Shapiro saying, "Oh, Trump did really bad that debate. He was way too aggressive, so aggressive. He should not have been that aggressive. He should have said this instead of this, that instead of that, pushed this way and pulled that way instead." Ben Shapiro was like, they were not pleased with his debate performance with Kamala, and here's the thing, JD Vance and Tim Walz, Kamala said it herself. Why is JD Vance agreeing with Tim Walz, a supposed socialist, on everything? Why are they trying to play nice? It just, to me, let me switch and kind of say from a feminine, I watched that debate from a feminine perspective, and I just thought JD Vance looked like such a little, I'm just going to say, looked like such a little pussy ass bitch, little cowardly man, because Tim Walz is legit saying socialist adjacent things, and JD Vance doesn't say anything and just agrees instead. Like, oh, you're right, Daddy Tim. You're right, Daddy Tim. You're right, Daddy Tim. Oh, yeah, Daddy Tim. I agree with that, Daddy Tim. I have my own ideas, Daddy Tim, but my job is to agree with you this debate, Daddy Tim. Let me stick my ass out and watch some dolphins again. So you can see I just have this visceral hatred of this man. Where it comes from, I don't know, but why is he agreeing with Tim Walz, for real? Like, it's a good point. Like, he shouldn't be. He's a socialist, right? All these leftists are socialists. Whew, even though Kamala's pushing everything to the right in response. With her, like, oh, let's build a wall and blah, blah, blah. She pushed everything right, and that kind of is why she lost, probably because she abandoned her base. But, it probably accelerated everything. Truly. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing, but I think this is the video, guys. I don't know what else to say. Really, it's gonna be seeing where everything with the future of Trump goes. And let's just acknowledge that who's the most powerful man in the nation? It might actually legit be Future and not Trump. I'd probably say Future has more power than Trump right now. How? I don't know. I'm not in the streets, but I can just feel it in my soul. So first billionaire street brother, go Future, Pluto #1.